Hello, this is Renee and Kent Miller and the Augmentation of Man, where we are bringing the future. And today we're going to be talking about humanity's awakening.
From chapter 8 in the acquiescence of humanity.
And so that's being taken from this book, chapter 8. This is available on Amazon, The Acquiescence of Humanity, in the Augmentation of Man series. And some of the information that is contained in this book is about the new genetic expression that will allow access to the universal consciousness that's going to be coming for man. Confirmation of the suspected planet X Nibiru. Massive Earth changes as the Earth seeks to rebalance herself. The chaos that's now seen has been predicted and meant to awaken humanity to a universal truth. So a lot of this chaos is about destroying our misperceptions. And then the relevance of December 21st, 2012, and what that meant. So today,
we're going to begin with grand cycle and how it affects everything that's going on here.
So everything's in cycles.
Yes. So how does the grand cycle affect the events that is going on in the solar system and around the
and
dimensions?
Particularly within our section of the solar system. So each grand cycle is a cycle of learning and a step upward and forward in learning. And so as we come to an end of one grand cycle, we have an overlapping period, we have a transformative period, and everything needs to be upgraded. So our physical bodies are being upgraded, molecular structure at the subatomic level is being upgraded, the communication system known as source and the neural net are being upgraded. And that is all to allow us to be able to process a higher level of information, energetically and intellectually.
What we're doing, we're learning about ourselves. Mm-hmm. We're learning who we are and what we are. And we're learning this in dreams and in meditation, and that's called the fourth dimension.
Our dream state is within
and meditation
the fourth dimension.
Mm-hmm.
So we are learning about ourselves through the events that take place in our third dimensional field. And so if you think about a baby, the baby is only able to explore a very small area because they can't really move about much. And then as we grow and we mature, our space expands, and where we can explore and the events that take place within that larger space expands also for our view and for our contemplation.
Well, nanotechnology is coming into play here. Very small infants or babies, they pick up some of their past lives. They're able to reflect on their past lives, the amazement of humanity and the current life. So there's a crossover there. Actually, the soul helps direct our learning process if we don't fight it.
Mm-hmm. It's the soul that contains the nanotechnology that stores learning events of current events and past life events. And so for some people, people are able to tap into that to varying degrees and to have some recollection of past lives.
Once you tap into it, if you're able to tap into it, you can begin to understand what is in the stored level of the soul. You're not going to access the whole soul, but the level of learning, you'll be able to access somewhat that. And that's going to give you a different look of where you're at now as far as understanding everything that's going on.
Now, Kent has been able to unlock that ability to tap into that knowledge stored in the soul. And so why don't you describe how you are receiving it's information, it's knowledge that you've gained from other lifetimes and other experiences.
Yeah, I've seen myself in past lives. I've seen myself in the reflection of this life and what to learn. I've seen many things, including visions of walls that tend to block what I'm trying to understand. So you have to understand why you're getting these visions and what's behind them.
And so why would you, what do you think is the reason for having a wall there that you can't access that information?
You have to look at it and say, well, is this wall into reflecting on a question that I asked? Maybe you're not supposed to know the answer yet. Or is it saying what you're doing now, if you're asking about a particular thing or a particular question about a person, they'll say, there's a wall blocking the answer. They want this blocked, the person does. So you have to reflect on why you're getting what you're getting.
Or that you're not ready for that information
yet.
And
you're not ready for it.
And so I have to say that as the observer, when you go into a deep meditation, sometimes what happens is that instead of the spiritual guide coming through and delivering the lesson, it's Kent's higher self, and he will identify himself as that. So as you begin your meditation and the dictation of what you hear, then you will say, this is my higher self.
Yeah, and they will show me the vision I need with the hearing, mm-hmm. if a vision is needed.
Mm-hmm. And so through meditation, when you get into a deep meditation, you can enter into the fourth dimension, and that's where you can have metaphoric visions. And so it's all about the deciphering of those visions. What does that mean for you when you start to, are you deciphering, or are you just describing what you see?
I'm describing what I see, unless they want me to understand it, then they'll tell me what that vision means. I always tell people, at the very beginning, I started using a pad and a pencil and writing down my visions. Now, the vision that you begin to see may not be exactly what you think. You have to contemplate the vision, where it might be, and why you went there. Everything isn't just black and white.
Mm-hmm. And our guides have explained to us that these visions are both symbolic and metaphoric. And I particularly have felt like a good dream dictionary helps with those visions, just as it does trying to decipher dreams, which are also symbolic and metaphoric. So as we come to completion of this grand cycle, we are completing our studies within the first 4 dimensions of space and time. And we are coming to understand who we are as a higher self in doing so. And so these, as we come to completion of these 4 dimensions, it opens the door to a higher vibration, allowing our reconnection to the higher self, that part of the soul that directs the learning process. And then when that happens, then the higher self starts to also give instruction. So your higher self can also be a guide.
Well, this period of time in which we're in is one where humans have created the chaos. Mm-hmm. Earth hasn't created its chaos yet, but the chaos has been created with our own misperceptions in mind, our past, what we've risen from the past, and then it all comes to a lack or a collapse of the lack of foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So
what you're saying is that this chaos is created by our own misperceptions. If we were to understand things at a higher level and what the truth really is, then we're both on the same page and we're not fighting about things.
Well, it's called polarization of the population. The chaos is
From
causing the population to polarize.
yes, but the point is that's happening because we don't have the truth.
No, and we have past.
You have one
Yeah.
truth, I have a different truth, and we're fighting each other over what the truth is, and yet nobody has the truth.
Yeah, so our past perception need to be destroyed in order for the truth to come out.
Yes, and so this chaos in part is meant to, and not in its entirety, is meant to destroy our misperceptions because as we are heavily debating these issues, we start to do our own fact checking. You notice how much fact checking is going on today. And so when we do the fact checking, we are gathering the data that supports a truth. And so when we come to an agreement on what the truth is, that's going to be a unifying factor for humanity.
Yeah, and fact checking as seems to be the common theme in the news media and things like that, is taking us to a final destination of unity, because the chaos and all the things going on will come to a crescendo.
Mm-hmm.
And then unity will be realized
Through the truth.
Through the truth.
Yeah. So it's really when we find the comprehensive truth that that we will start to unify and not be so polarized by all the events and what we believe to be true. So that will be our moment of unity.
Yeah. So it's going to be an end to our past purviews and perimeters. And it's going to end secularism and materialism, which the human race has been in for a long time. And everyone will return back to the creator. As the focus, the creator controls everything within all universes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so these sequence of events that we are already going through is going to culminate into some pretty rough times for humanity. And that disparity that we will feel, the vulnerability, the disparity, is what causes humanity to finally reach out for the Creator, for help. And that facilitates our reconnection with the higher self and the soul. And it's almost going to happen en masse, meaning, you know, a large group of people all at once, or in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah, and a good example of what unity can bring is something that was short-lived in 9/11. It was very short-lived. And this is going to have to be a massive catastrophes around the earth itself to bring man back to the truth and how important man really is here on earth.
And these catastrophes are there for a couple of reasons. One, the earth is out of balance. Two is that as even molecular change has to happen to move us to a new level, our guides are even saying that the topography of the earth and where the land masses are placed is also what determines or sets up the environment for a new and higher learning. So the earth is going to change in big ways. And we're also going to have a shifting of the ocean. So more water over the surface of the earth, less land mass. There will be areas that will rise up out of the ocean as well, but even mountains dropping. So we're talking about massive change.
Right. These are unexpected events which will bring humanity back together. because they know that they can. Humanity is not an island. There's a thing that man is not an island. We're saying humanity is not an island, and it has to awaken to the earth shifts, because that's the only way we can shift with the earth in a higher vibration.
Yeah, so the earth's shift in vibration upward is going to trigger our own shift upward. And there's a lot of science behind that too. So, we would ask that people not look at our spirituality as separate from science. When we talk about bringing forth the future, we're talking about the future is the conceptual understanding of how all of this is integrated and it all fits. Science is not separated from our spirituality or astronomy, astrology. It all is interwoven and it all supports each other.
Yeah, but the thing is, with all this happening, mankind, as we know, is not ready for any of this. Mankind has not awakened enough or created a vibration equal to the earth. So mankind is not ready for any of this. That's why the mass chaos is going on.
And all of these events are teaching us something. We need to take that opportunity to look at it as a learning experience, because we are being pushed through an accelerated learning period where there's lots of events that are unfolding in quick succession, and we have to understand why those events are happening. This is going to push us forward and prepare us for that next cycle.
Well, we're going to have to repulse our past vibrations.
We'll come to a period of time where there will be a natural repulsion of the old vibration. So as we move forward in our level of understanding, we will look back on the past and be repulsed by our behavior of the past. And that will be a part of the new cycle unfolding and a recognition of the new higher vibration.
All this has to happen for the survival of the human species on this planet.
Yes. And so our guides have indicated that the way that the Creator has created everything in all of the universes is that there is this constant evolution forward and growth and understanding. So this expansion of universal consciousness, and we have to fit into that model that the Creator has created, or what happens is that we just naturally become extinct.
So with that, I'd like to thank you for listening to our thoughts and the book and the thoughts of the professors and ancients, and what we think it meant out of the book and our interpretation. And if you disagree with our interpretation, let us know, because we are open to any conversation with another human.
So the ancients have given us these lessons in a complicated language, and it involves the Greek and Latin root words that are combined to form new words. Some universal words that are found in these books in the Augmentation of Man series. And so we have done our best to interpret them. However, we do not claim to be
The
expert.
Yeah, because we're still learning also.
Yeah, and so in the back of each book, there is a glossary, and we have spent a lot of time deciphering these words and going back and asking for clarification at times to make sure that we've got the best definition. And so if you don't understand it, it takes lots of time. Be patient. You will get there. You will become acclimated to the language and learn a lot in the process, because we learn a lot about the Greek and Latin root words that make up our own language.
Yeah. So with that, thank you for being with us.
And peace be with you on your journey to enlightenment. Have a great Thanksgiving holiday and be safe. Take care. Bye-bye now.